So, you're thinking about buying your first home in Florida. It can feel like a pretty huge mountain to climb, right? But what if I told you there's a whole world of assistance programs out there just waiting to help you grab the keys to your very own place? Well, stick around because we're about to break down exactly what's available and how you can get it.
Yeah, if you're feeling a little overwhelmed by it all, you are definitely not alone. The Florida market, it's got its own unique challenges. We're talking rising prices and some of the highest insurance costs in the entire country. But don't you worry, we're here to help you turn all that stress into a solid, actionable plan.
All right, first things first, let's get a lay of the land. What are the specific financial hurdles you're actually up against in Florida? The numbers, well, they tell a pretty clear story.
Okay, let's just get this one out of the way. The first number you're going to see is a big one. As of early 2025, the median home price in Florida is a whopping $435,000. To put that in perspective, that's about 10% higher than the national average. And you know what that means? That down payment just got a whole lot bigger.
But you know, the purchase price is really just the beginning. This next number is the one that really catches people off guard. The average homeowner's insurance premium in Florida? Over $5,500 a year. That is more than double the national average. I mean, that's a massive ongoing cost you have to factor into your monthly budget.
Now, it's not all doom and gloom. There is some good news. The number of homes for sale is actually up by a third, which is great. It means you've got more choices. But as we've just seen, the real challenge isn't finding a house, it's affording it.
Okay, so we've laid out the hurdles. Now for the good part. Let's talk about how to clear them. Before we jump into specific programs, we got to learn to speak the language of financial aid. What do all these different terms actually mean for you? Let's start with maybe the most important definition of all. First-time homebuyer. Now, you might hear that and think, well, I've owned a home before, so that's not me. But hold on. In the eyes of these programs, if you haven't owned your main home in the last 3 years, you probably qualify. This is a total game changer for so many people. Okay, now let's look at the 3 main flavors of help you're going to find. First up is a grant. This is kind of the holy grail, right? It's money for your down payment that you don't have to pay back. Then you've got a deferred loan. Think of this like a silent partner in your home purchase. It's a second mortgage, but you don't have to pay a dime on it until you sell or refinance. And finally, a tax credit. This directly cuts down your federal tax bill, which means, you guessed it, more cash in your pocket at the end of the year. So now that we know the lingo, let's see how these ideas actually turn into real-world programs that can help you. Here in Florida, you've basically got 2 main places to look for help: programs from the state itself and programs from the federal government.
So what's the difference between the two? Well, think of it this way. Florida state programs are custom-made for our market. They're often bundled with specific mortgages. Federal programs, on the other hand, are available everywhere, and they include the big names you've probably already heard of. They offer broader benefits, but they might not be as fine-tuned to Florida's unique situation.
Let's dive into some of the state's heavy hitters. You've got Florida Assist, which gives you $10 grand as an interest-free loan you don't touch until you sell. The FHLP is pretty similar, also $10 grand, but with a really low interest rate. But the real unicorn here is the HFA Advantage Plus loan. This one is forgiven over 5 years. That means if you stay put in your home, that debt just, poof, vanishes. That is a huge difference from a deferred loan, which, remember, you do have to pay back eventually.
Now on the federal side, you've got some absolute game changers. FHA loans are famous for getting you in the door with as little as 3.5% down. For our veterans and military families, VA loans often mean zero. That's right, zero down payment. And if you're looking to live a little bit outside the big city, a USDA loan can get you 100% financing. And trust me, you'd be surprised how many places in Florida count as rural.
Okay, I really want to zoom in and put a spotlight on one of Florida's most powerful and popular programs. It's called Hometown Heroes, and it is a perfect example of how the state is stepping up to help the people who serve our communities every single day.
So, the big question is, are you a hometown hero? This program is designed for a really wide range of essential professionals. We're talking healthcare workers, teachers, first responders like police and firefighters, child care providers, and of course, active military members and veterans. If you work full-time in one of these fields here in Florida, you absolutely need to know about this.
And the amount of support they offer is just incredible. Hometown Heroes can give you up to 5% of your loan amount, capped at a maximum of $35,000. Just let that sink in for a second. For many, many people, that's enough to cover your entire down payment, plus a big chunk of your closing costs. And here's the magic of how it works. It's a 0% interest, deferred second mortgage. That means it's an interest-free loan that just sits there. You don't make a single payment on it until you sell your home, refinance, or move out. Now remember our distinction. It's not forgivable, so you do have to pay it back someday. But it's an unbelievable, interest-free boost that gets you into a home with way less cash out of your own pocket.
Okay, we have covered a ton of ground, but now it's time for the most important part. What do you actually do next? Let's turn all this information into a simple, step-by-step plan to get you from renter to homeowner.
Here's your 5-step playbook. Step 1. Dive into the details. See which programs you actually qualify for based on income, credit, all that stuff. Step 2. Take a homebuyer education course. This is often a requirement, and honestly, it's always a good idea. Step 3. Get your paperwork together. You know the drill: pay stubs, tax returns, bank statements. Step 4, and this is crucial, find a HUD-approved housing counselor. These are certified, low-cost experts who can guide you through this exact process. And finally, Step 5, find a lender who works with these programs and officially submit your application.
Look, the path to owning a home in Florida might not be a walk in the park, but as we've just seen, it is filled with opportunities for real help. The programs are out there, the assistance is real, and now you have a roadmap. So the only question left is which program is going to unlock your new front door.